So, this is your host, Steve from the back. I just got home. Um, Today was annoying because I had to get things for rental assistance. Um, so because now I'm doing these videos where I talk about dreams and stuff. Um, I guess I'm gonna rant about the dream that I had last night, which was very strange. I guess some would say cringy. Uh, it was more of a violent dream, but not like super violent. Um, but there was shooting in this dream. It was a dream where it was more about my ego, anger, and a sense of rebellion, which was kind of I felt like was the theme of the dream, and I'll get into that more. So I'm gonna pretty much explain how this dream went. So, this was one of those dreams where, for whatever reason, um, I was in my old house, which is normal. I don't like it, but a lot of times in dreams, I end up being in an old house that I grew up in. Um, so I was in this old house, and this was really weird because even though it was an old house, it kept shifting between different places. Um, and I really don't understand why, but it is what it is. It just did that, which it usually does, honestly. Um, but so I was in this house and it's foggy. I can remember parts of this dream I had last night, but I can't remember the like whole thing in its entirety. Um, but I do remember that I had did something wrong. I don't remember even why I did something. I think like someone had tried to I think the concept was kind of like someone had tried to rob me and a family member or something, and I did something violent to them. I can't remember. I have no clue what it was. I cannot remember, but it was centered around like someone trying to do something violent, me retaliating, something that had to do with me being hungry, trying to get food, and then I believe something about me trying to take the money out of the pocket of some person that I had dealt with, and me and some family member had basically teamed up on because they tried to do something to me and my family, one of my family members. So in this dream, basically, I don't even know why this is, but this is how the dream was, and it was really, really weird. Pretty much almost everything around when you went through the city was either a bluish color, a reddish color, or more of like a purple color. Okay? And honestly, a lot of people were walking around with purple skin and blue skin, and some people had red skin. And I just didn't really understand what to make of it. But it felt like the dream had a theme, like as if this was like the new world, or this was some type of new world or some type of new age of something. And the weirdest thing was these people were a lot of them were bald, which I don't know why, but a lot of them happened to be bald. Um, Blue skin, purple skin, red skin. And these people were it was weird because they had some type of law system, and it seemed like so much time had passed on into the future that these people, how do I say this? They were like against crime, but they would deal with crime if they saw crime. Like they were extremely civilized to a degree, like really civilized, like almost pansies, almost to the point to where they were kind of soft. And they had these guns, and literally the guns they would use, that what's it called? The police would use. These guns seemed to not really shoot bullets. I mean, they hit me. I'll explain it more. But they'd hit me at a certain point with some of these guns, and I guess because it was a dream, there was no like real impact or feeling, or I just know I was being shot at. And some of these guns seemed like they would just simply mark things with like paint, believe it or not. And it was really weird. And so I know I did something wrong, and literally I spent like half of this dream just trying to run from these policing weird people that they almost to me seemed alien. They didn't really look alien because they looked like they had human ratios, but the skin color was off because they were bald. They had like blue skin or purple skin or red skin. Um, and a lot of the clothes they wore were like clothes with like silver on it, like literally this like metallic silver color, blues, reds, purples, and they even had this like church. Literally, I had somehow tried to walk into a church service to hide from them when they were chasing me, and I tried to blend in by basically the people were like singing, and a lot of these people were normal looking people. They weren't all discolored, but I tried to like blend in by singing, and I never will forget this probably. This random girl called me out, and it was this girl. She was a black girl who looked nerdy and looked, I don't know what it was, but something was just so annoying about this girl's face. Like, you ever look at a person and they're like just their face annoys you because they just have a certain annoying look? She had this sort of like know it all, I'm a nerd, but also um I'm extremely, what's the word, taught, kind of like a person who has very little self personality but is taught a lot of things. She stuck out to me for some reason as that type of person, and she said something like, "Oh well, where's your hands?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" So supposedly, when people sung in this time and era, for some stupid reason, they would wave their hands in this weird way while they were singing, and for some reason, that's how they knew that there's something completely wrong about me and knew that I was like trying to just hide and blend in. And the cops swarmed in there. Basically, I was just running around, um, flipping over pews. I can't remember if I more or less ran from these cops or literally like levitated and flew away from them. But I was flipping a lot of stuff over and basically just running behind anything and everything that could get me in between them. And I didn't care if I had to like slap a person on the ground or run over a person literally or whatever. I just didn't care. I was just like steamrolling through everything um to get away from them. And I believe I may have exited the building through like a very, very, very high window. And after that, um I think I got to a point to where they had hit me with this thing. Like I could say it was a gun, but like a pistol. They had hit me with these things and I felt nothing. And at one point I believe that one got like up close to me, and I believe I just easily took this gun from this police officer or whatever you want to call this thing, and I started I started shooting at them with their own weapon. And I all I could remember was it felt like it was literally hitting them with paintballs. That's all I could remember, like with red paint, almost as if it was doing nothing. I was like, in my head, I was thinking, what type of crap? What is this? This is retarded. This doesn't make any sense. And I just wanted to get away from them because I had this feeling like that their punishments were, even though they were really like pansies and really soft and really kind of removed from reality type of beings or whatever, I felt like their punishments against criminals were really, really severe. So I just did not want to get caught by them by any means. Um, and I don't even know how the dream faded off into this other thing, but it did. So it faded off into some other thing where basically, I'm at home and I'm with a family member, one of my brothers, and I'm at the my house with this brother of mine, and when I look outside, everything is covered in snow. And literally to the point to where the snow is literally up to the windows, which makes no sense, but the snow is up to the windows. So I figured, okay, this must be like some type of apocalyptic ice age, whatever, new age and time, apocalyptic thing. And the only thought I could think in my head was, I am starving. I'm so hungry. I have to go outside and get something. So I thought maybe for some reason, and I know logically this makes no sense, but in a dream, everything doesn't make sense and everything makes sense, if that even makes sense. So I figure maybe there was a store. And the first thing I was thinking was I would do the old pastime of Steve walks in the store and just takes something and worries about the consequences later because it's a lucid dream. So I don't care if I have to hurt someone to get this food. I don't care if I have to smash up this whole store. I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to put something in my mouth. And oddly enough, when I eat in dreams, it usually just turns into air and there's no satisfaction. And it's just a spiral of me trying to eat and getting no satisfaction until I actually wake up and eat something in real life. Um, so I jump out the window and I land on this huge sheet of ice, which is literally, it's like if you took a city block out of ice and it started to dip down and then the ground started to get low enough for me to be able to see, like things like fences, sidewalks, stuff like that. But everything still had like ice and snow all over it, and I didn't really pay too much attention to like if there were birds in the sky or anything. I just really was focusing on the cold and also wondering why I don't feel any cold, even though there's like what should be freezing cold all around. And oddly enough, it was not dark. It was sunny, which was made no sense either. Not like super bright, but just generally like sunny. Um, so at this point, I try to go to the store, and instead of there being a store, there is a pizza place there. So I go to the pizza place, literally while in the pizza place, attempting to go behind the what do you call it? I think the go behind the counter. I was trying to do. I think I was trying. Yeah, I was trying to go behind the counter because I wanted to see if I could just go in there, smack some people around, grab a pizza, and just burst out of there. Like a friggin' Marvel superhero. I thought I was, gonna. But then someone comes in there and they actually have a gun. Um, and the crazy thing is, this guy basically wants to rob me. He tells me like, give him my wallet or something like that. Like it was one of those type of things. I forgot how he said it exactly or whatever, but basically he wanted my money. So basically, I just let him shoot me because it's just a lucid dream, like obviously, and I just take his gun. And I take his gun, and I think, like, what did I even do? I don't know what I did to him. I can't remember. Normally, in dreams, I have a habit of either bashing people with things, or I'll usually just break people's necks. I'll literally just grab someone's head and twist their neck completely around. You know what I mean? And I think because in a dream, you would think that that would be debilitating enough to someone, if not fatal, probably not fatal, but you think it would like paralyze them and debilitate them completely. Usually, they react to falling on the ground and they are paralyzed. Um, but the thing is, or at least they can't, they can't get up. They can't get up because their neck is just a loose, noodle. And even sometimes I feel like they faint or something. I don't know why, but it seems like it just gets rid of them. Just like in a dream when I would do something like bash someone over the head until their head is literally like open. As graphic as that sounds, their head is pretty much open and things are hanging out. Usually they don't do anything after that. Usually they're dead in the dream. So after I dealt with this guy, I went through his pockets. Okay, I went through this guy's pockets. When he's looking there, lifeless on the ground, and at that point, the thing was no cops. What surprised me was no cops showed up. So I went back home. I talked to my brother, and basically I could tell he kind of was not on board with this whole assaulting people that try to rob you, taking their money when they're helpless, and then running off with it and adding up the money. He wasn't with it. I could tell he so was not with it. And during this dream, I can't remember how many other times this happened, but it happened a few other times. And eventually I started to turn on him because I hate to say it, but in the dream, he got too soft and he started to kind of turn against me. And I looked at him, I said something like, "Oh, so you're gonna report me, aren't you? You're gonna try to call some type of authorities and you're gonna report me. So you're turning on me, aren't you?" I said that to him, and in the back of my head, I was thinking, I hate to say it, but I'll do the same. I'm gonna have to do the same to you if you think that you're going to jeopardize this thing, man. And I don't know what it was, and I guess hunger was the drive for some reason, because in my mind, which I don't even know why I was thinking like this, if I added up enough money, then I could just keep buying things to eat. And even though we lived in this cold, weird world that was like kind of apocalyptic, I figure the best thing I could do, because I really saw almost no one was around, was to make sure that I had things to eat. And I don't know why I was like so ready to turn on my own brother over that, but I don't know, that's the way I felt in the dream. Um, but he never like officially ever ratted me out or you know turned on me or anything. But I had like strong notions that he was going to. Um, and then this is where the dream gets really really strange, and I don't really I mean I understand it, but I don't I don't understand it, parts of it why. So I go outside and there's this guy. It's this black man, and he has this wife of his that's this white woman. And then he starts talking about how like he used to stick people up, he used to rob people, he used to do the same thing that I was doing. um and he changed his life around. And then he broke out into some song or something, some type of, and it was literally like I'll put it like this, it was like he was singing a romantic song to like his wife or something. um but when I looked at it, I felt like I resonated so much with the feelings he had for her, not for towards her, but just like in general towards a woman. Like at if a woman was a woman that I wanted to be my wife, and at that point, I just got so emotional over the whole thing that I kind of lost any train of thought on the whole food thing, the whole money thing. It's so weird because like literally I guess in my mind, I saw it as like he was what I would want to be in the future. Like he was like he'd established peace. He'd established a life of like peace and harmony. He's married, he loves his wife. Um his past isn't exactly that good or pretty, but he can move on. So I got too caught up in all the emotion of that, okay? Um and all at that point, all I'm thinking about is like, I should be married, I should have a wife, I love this woman, blah 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 blah, that type of thing. And at that point, I just was so emotional that like literally, it sounds crazy, but I actually had to go to, I had to go to work today. But when I woke up, I admit, no bullshit, I woke up and I was crying. Like, not tears weren't coming out, but all the physiological and emotional processes that go down when you cry was happening when I woke up. So the thing was, see, the thing about dreams is this: is that dreams can affect you in a very real way. Like, for instance, if you have certain emotions in you already, a dream will simply just bring those out and express them in a certain way. So that's what that was. But it was so weird because I literally woke up with like a dry crying. And obviously those emotions don't ever go away, because the thing is, obviously, as a man, obviously it's in me to be a husband, it's in me to get married, it's in me to fall in love with a woman. Obviously I'd be lying if I said, "Oh, there's no women that I know that I feel that way about." That would be complete bullshit. So all those emotions were just to the surface and just expressed themselves in that weird way in a dream. In matter of fact, in the dream, see where I grew up, there used to be this street that led to it led to a store, and if you go further, it led to a school I used to go to. The guy was going in that direction, him and his wife, to that store, and I also was going in that direction because at first I was going to try to get food at that store. Um, but after I got all lost in the emotion, and it's almost as if like I started literally melding into being this guy. Like I felt like literally I was now seeing him as me in the future, and it just was too emotional. So all the hunger went out the window. I wasn't even hungry when I woke up, which is weird, which is really strange. And the emotion obviously dwindled down as I like got up, stood up, because like the thing is, emotions like that, I'm not gonna just burst out crying like right now. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's just unless something like really stuck out to me a certain way and like hit me a certain way. So that was what the dream last night was, and it was the weirdest thing. I still keep thinking about these like red and purple and blue people, and all I can think about is like, man, these people look crazy. They look like they remind me of like like crayons, like ice cream crayons. Like they just did not look. Their colors were literally like purple, blue, and red, looking like crayons, looking like ice cream, looking like yogurt, just all types of stuff that people should not look like. And their clothes were the weirdest thing in the world. Like literally, they had like silver shiny clothes with big shoulder pads that were like pointy and like almost like this priestly looking. It was the weirdest thing. But so that's the dream. It was kind of weird. It wasn't exactly a nasty dream. It wasn't a sexual dream. It wasn't any. It was, but it was really weird. It was all over the place. And so much of it is foggy. I don't even understand. I honestly don't understand when I started dreaming, how I went from being awake to start dreaming. I don't even know. But that's the rant. Um, I guess this is probably gonna be like a thing now. Once in a while, I'll do like a rant like this about a lucid dream. And this is your host, Steve from the back. Like, comment, and subscribe. And have a nice day.